Hey there, good man fam. Today I heard something on a podcast that I heard Destiny say, which is a big YouTuber, and it just drove me so crazy to where I'm like, okay, I need to say something about this. They talk about how hypergamy is not real because people date within their class or within their bracket, whatever bracket that may be. And I need to explain to you all why that may be the case, but the reason why is the biggest factor there. And they don't talk about that. So listen closely to this because this will explain why using that as an argument to try to destroy hypergamy makes absolutely no sense. Back in the 1950s, females used to date a guy. And when they dated a guy, the way they thought about the guy was based on whether or not he was a good man. That meant, did he have a good job? Did he take care of his family? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So whenever they went and talked to other females, they would talk about how good their man was. Girl, my man got a good job. He works at the factory. They was like, oh, girl, okay, my man got a good job. He's a plumber who works for this, or he's a mechanic or something. Whenever they talked about those blue collar jobs, they got praise for marrying a man like that. So those females were doing what? They were marrying within their bracket. You can talk about socioeconomically or whatever, but they were marrying within that. Fast forward, what do we see now? Yes, they're still marrying within their brackets. But think about this. This is very important. Back in the day, females were marrying at 16 to 20 years of age. And those guys that they were marrying, they were proud of those guys. Nowadays, females are pushed to do what? Go get their degrees and to try to get not a good guy, but a rich guy. So that does what to the actual population? It makes the population's marriage rates drop because people are getting married at a farther age down the line. Instead of 16 to 20, they're getting married at 28 to 32. And it makes individuals look at a person's wealth more, so they're less likely to get married if a person doesn't have a particular amount of wealth. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't like that. They were thinking about how good the man is. Whereas now, they're thinking about how rich the man is. So by them doing that, it does what? What I just said, pushes the marriage down the line. Then when those females who used to get married at 16 to 20 are now getting married 28 to 32, when they get married to those guys who are plumbers, mechanics, and work at the factory, they don't go up to their friends and say, yeah, girl, my man's a plumber, and get praised. You know what happens when they say that? They get dogged, which is why they don't want to marry them. But guess what happens? When they go that far down the line age-wise, that's all that's quote-unquote left. They can't marry the guys after whom they were trying to go because those guys want younger females. So what do? They get with these guys, those females, and then they get angry when they have to tell somebody, my husband's a mechanic, my husband's a plumber, my husband works at the factory. Because it's no longer a badge of honor. Because these females have been taught based on social media and all this just ridiculous new validation that they get, that what actually matters isn't the actual man. It's the money that the man has. So when they marry inside their whole bracket back in the day, they did it on purpose, deliberately, and they were proud of it and proud of the person they married. Now they do it and call themselves settling, and they're not proud, and they're still doing what? Looking for another guy who they can marry that has a better title and more money. What does that sound like to you? Oh, right. Hypergamy.